Hey, Sunday morning lovers. Welcome to Sunday Morning Live Meds, Powwow Chats, and now Q&A. Just going to put this in Sunday Meds. Sunday Meds. We're focused on opening, Sunday Meds. You know what? Fuck that. I'll just do this. It's too long to write. Good morning, Sunday morning lovers. Welcome to Sunday Morning Live Meds and Zipawwow Chats. Nucha, I had a dream of you last night. You were knocking at my front door and I couldn't hear it because I was heating up tempeh on my, what's it called? Fucking stove. So you're in my dreams. I think that's because I'm seeing you next week. Good morning, gang. Good morning to Lauren. Good morning to Ren. Good morning to Grazie. Good morning to all you legends, to Chelsea. I will see you at 11 a.m. for our WALK. Can't say the name because little Bailey's in the background. I hope you're all well. Good morning to Jessie over on Facebook. So we're going to be doing Sunday Morning Live Powwow Chats, Meds, and followed up by a live Q&A. So we'll spend the last 5 to 7 minutes on live answering your questions. I do have some sent questions on Instagram. Some people have DM'd me, so I have typed in the question myself. Please know that you are welcome to ask me any questions also in the comments. And also just, feel free to DM me during Zivik so I can serve your souls. Really nice to have you here this morning, where today I want to share a topic. So I was speaking to a friend last night who said, what's your topic today? And last night I had a topic that was set, and like I said to her, but it can change because just before I do Sunday Live, I tune in. And I did get a new message. I did get a new topic to focus on. So what I want to focus on, which is something that I guess I'm in the practice of being, something that I want to continue being in the practice of being, and something that I want to, I guess, invite into your lives, particularly with you will have seen on social media that there is a lot going on in America. There's a lot of conversation around racism and active racism, anti-racism, and what we're doing, what we're not doing, how we're participating, how we're not participating. Which is something that I'm not going to, I guess, overtly talk about because I don't know about. Which is why I want to talk about this particular topic, which is, fucking spit it out, Cat John, which is about opening yourself up. I've spoken about this in a podcast before, where we have 4 billion bits of information available to us. 4 billion bits of information available to us, which we can fucking not take in, right? That is just way too much for our brain to take in. It's too much for our mind to take in. So we only allow 2,000 bits of information in out of those 4 billion bits of information. So that's a big fucking gap between 2,000 to 4 billion. The 2,000 bits that we allow in are egoically biased. What I mean by that is that your ego or your personality or how you think or what you think you believe or what your limited perceptions, your limited beliefs allow in is biased. So depending upon how you grew up, depending upon the information you were taught, depending upon the education that you had, depending upon also the beliefs that you formed over your years. And if you have locked them in as solid gold, as solid as a rock, then that is like the information from that locking in of, this is what I believe, this is how I see the world, this is what I think of myself, this is what I think of others. Then if you open your eyes and you look outwardly, then basically you are going to pull in information that confirms what you believe, what you perceive, how you think the world, you, etc. is and operates. Which is fine, until we become blocked or stagnant or even unkind in the way that we think. We become closed off. We become, I guess what I would call unevolved, where our ways of thinking are unevolved. Our ways of thinking are very rigid. Our ways of thinking are not malleable. They're not open. And if you think of it, I want you to think of like a tube, or think of a toothpaste tube. If you have kids, your kids like twist the tube and they're like, haha, there's no toothpaste left. And you're like, fucker, if you just like unrolled the middle of the toothpaste thing and then push the toothpaste off, there would be flow of toothpaste, right? I want you to think of your mind like that. Many toothpaste tubes. Those 2,000 bits of information, those toothpaste tubes that are kinked, that are squished in the middle. All your kids or your nieces or your nephews have come over and like, ha, 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 squish, squish, squish. That's what your mind is like when your beliefs and your thoughts and the way that you perceive the world are rigid. And you become ignorant to new information coming in. You become resistant, even, probably a better word, to new information coming in. You become resistant to learn. You become resistant to grow. You become resistant to shifting out of the personality, the false personality that you have been living in. And maybe you may have evolved over your time. Maybe you have evolved over your time and you're like, nah, man, I'm fucking cool. I'm accepting this and I'm that and I'm that. But in terms of who we truly are as beings, not human beings, beings, our true nature is evolution, is creation, to recreate ourselves. So, for example, 10 years ago, my 2,000 bits of information was, I'm not a spiritual person. I don't fucking know what energy is. All I know is chronic pain, pills make me better, choose Western medicine, everything outside affects the way that I feel. I'm not powerful. I can't change my circumstances. I'm a victim. That was my 2,000 bits of information when 4 billion bits were available to me. Now, I went on a path, I went on a quest, a journey to evolve those 2,000 bits of information, which had me link into visualization, meditation, tuning into myself, intuition. So through that training and new information that I allowed in, I upgraded my 2,000 bits of information, which were like, holy fucking shit. I can change my reality. I can fucking heal myself. I can heal chronic pain. I can visualize. I can pull realities in that don't fucking exist into my world through taking action and visualizing. Right? And then over the years, I have continued to evolve these 2,000 bits, because still what has been plugged in is you're not lovable, you can't be in a relationship, you can't earn money, and yada, yada, yada. And so over time, I have continued to evolve those 2,000 bits. And this is what I want to extend to you is firstly, let's take a look at your fucking 2,000 bits of information and how's it working for you. Is it blocking you from learning new things? Is it blocking you from experiencing new things? Is it blocking you from being fucking open, even fucking open to listening? And this is where I'm at right now when it comes to racism. This is a topic that I just it's fucking not in my consciousness. It has been with my mum. My mum is Filipino. My mum's Filipino, and when she came over to Australia, she was sent over here for more opportunities as a young woman to do nursing over here. And my mum and her Filipino friends used to have to hide from the ward nurses. The Australian ward nurses because they would pull them out of their rooms and make them do the shifts. So my mum would hide in her cupboard because they were targeted. My mum was at grocery stores and an old white man came up to her and said, "Are you looking for the dim sin style?" In a smart-ass comment, in a smart-ass tone. My mum and dad were questioned about, oh, is she a mail order bride? How much did you pay for her? That's the stuff that they had to experience. So I was aware of what my mum went through. But in terms of my own experience, like it's out of my 2,000 bits of information. And right now, where I'm at in this particular movement of what's happening on social media and George Floyd and all of those things, and even in Australia, I'm in the mode of, all right, Miss John, this is another learning period. This is another open up. This is another let's expand, let's evolve. And what I want to pose to you today through a meditation is what do you know? What do you really know intrinsically that maybe you're not paying attention to? But we can access that through meditation. What do you deep down know that you are wanting to expand yourself on, you open yourself up to? It doesn't have to be racism. It can be about, I don't know, your partner. It can be about things that you've been unconsciously ignorant to that is impacting your relationship, impacting your role as a mother or as a father or as a whoever. It can be anything, right? I'm just using my example right now of what's going on in the world. And the reason why I want to bring this to you today is because you are a powerful motherfucking being. That doesn't just have to be like 2,000 bits. This is who I am. This is what I'll let in. These are the conversations I will only have, and I will not let anything new come in. You're like the full-blown cock blocker. If you want to really get back in touch with your true nature, if you really want to get back in touch with who you truly are and your capability and your abilities and the possibilities, it's to be in this mode of always upgrading. Keep things that work for you, of course. Keep things that work for you. But you're about releasing things that don't and evolving yourself into things that do, right? Keep the things that work for you. But let's be in that mode of constantly cleansing those 2,000 bits and go, what's for me, what's not for me? What's going to serve fucking humanity? What's going to serve this planet? What's going to serve the longevity of humanity in this planet? And yourself as well. So let's take this into meditation. And then after the meditation, I will do 5 to 7 minutes of live Q&A. So get yourselves as comfy as possible. You can sit down, you can lie down. I don't mind, whatever suits your soul. And then let's get into it. I'm taking a sip of my coffee. Yes, from Not a Keep Cup. I am hoping that they will do that. I'm very consciously aware that I don't like keep cups. I have lots of them. Okay, closing down your eyes. Big breath in. And then out. Big breath in. And then out. Big breath in. And then out. And just breathe at a pace and rhythm that is good for you, good for you. And just take a moment here to notice the sounds that you can hear. Notice the sounds that you can hear. Smells that you can smell. Any tastes that you can taste. And just noticing or sensing into the temperature of the space around you. This process firstly turns on your senses, all the senses that have been there the whole time. Helps you to be present too. Let us just spend a moment here remembering our true nature. Our ability to create and recreate. Opens up our true nature of evolution. We have the ability to create our thoughts. The way we speak, the way we act. We have the ability to recreate, upgrade, advance thought. The way we speak, listen, and act. The true creator, which is you, will go about assessing and reassessing, creating and recreating what works and what doesn't work. And so I invite you to be really honest with yourself now. Really honest with yourself now. And get a sense of what you know you are ready to evolve or recreate or assess. Because something in you is calling you to open up, to expand, to take off the blinkers. What is that for you? Where are you being called to open up? What area of your life? to open up and upgrade your thoughts. Your speech, your actions. Whatever that answer is now your job, your mission to become inquisitive about, inquire about, and challenge your ways of thinking. So you can upgrade, open up, and evolve. Every time we do this, each and every single one of us do this, we contribute to greater evolution, greater consciousness. And deep down, that is something we all care about. Take some big breaths in and out. And then when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Thanks, superstars, for joining for today. I am going to now go live and go on here for questions. So on Instagram, we have got a question that is, hang on, I'm just turning down the music. What is the best way you find to overcome your ego that stops you from reaching your full potential? Great question. What is the best way you find to overcome ego that stops you from reaching your full potential? So, Butterfly Moonbeam, this is who wrote it, and this is to anyone else who's interested too. What I do to stop my ego from reaching my full potential. There is a specific exercise which I have gone through in the podcast. I've gone through in the podcast, I think it's called like Clear Out Your Ego. There's an exercise that I do called the ego clearing exercise. And when I know I'm fucking with myself, and I know when I'm fucking myself because I've done enough work on myself to really know when my ego is playing out, and then how I then go and behave and act out of my ego, which will be like if I'm retreating, retracting, closing off, getting mopey, fucking thinking like, you know, I should end my life or not belong in the world. And that sounds fucking heavy, but it's true. You know, my thoughts do go there. They fucking go there. When I get there, I do an ego clearing exercise. If you're wondering what episode that is, just DM me and I'll put it in. I'll send it back to you. I do that because I want to clear out whatever is fucking getting in my way. I want to empty out the ego. I want to just see what is going on there because it's scared. You know, the ego is scared. The ego is afraid that you're going to go out into the world and potentially be like, you know, ridiculed or get embarrassed, or you're going to fail, or you're going to this, or you're going to that. So it is trying to fuck with you. It will try and fuck with you to hold you back and pull you back to protect you. So I do the ego clearing exercise, and once I have done that, the basis of doing that exercise is fundamentally to see where my focus is. I know where I want my focus to be, which is on my full potential and actualizing full potential, but clearly my focus is also somewhere else. It's like two things at once. So I want to see where my ego's focus is, and I want to release the pain. I want to release the wound. I want to empty out what's going on there, because I want to respect that. I want to respect that part of myself that it is scared and that it is afraid, and I do have to live with it. Once I have done that, I then go in and I tune back in to the end result of what it is that I'm going for. So if it's your full potential and you want to visualize yourself like fucking free and doing all the things that you love and, you know, creating and I don't know, whatever the fuck it is, whatever your full potential looks and feels like, that's what you want to envision. That's what you want to tune into. That's what you want to like remember. How do I do that? I play fucking emotive motherfucking ass music. And I just go into the vision that I want to create. So if I'm fucking myself up about writing my book, and I'll do my ego clearing exercise, then what I'll do is I'll imagine actually the book in people's hands, and they're reading it in bed and they're crying, and then they put the book to their chest. Makes me want to cry now. And they just say, fucking thank you for writing that book. See, that gets me. You know, and so when you can tap back into the emotion and the feeling of the end result, then you start acting from that place. So whenever I feel emotive or like, holy fucking shit, this isn't about me. This is about them. This is about serving humanity. Fucking come on, man. Let's write. So the one thing about your ego is that it is going to make it personal. It's always going to make it about you. It's always going to be like self-obsessed. So that's what I do in that sense. Lauren has written a question here. When you can feel that old part of you coming through, which I'm assuming you're meaning your ego, how do you remember the new you? So Lauren, that exact example of that is what I just mentioned here. When you can feel your your old ways coming out. And it's really important that you do know your old ways, right? That you do know your false personality. If you haven't heard anything about my group trainings, this is what we fucking teach you. We teach you how your ego operates, all its primary limiting beliefs, and then how that gets expressed as a false personality profile. If you know that well, when you can see and feel that coming through, again, ask me about the ego clearing exercise. You can DM me and I'll send you the episode of the podcast. You want to clear it out and go, okay, why is this old part of me coming up? Clearly, if you're like in the new you and you're like, holy shit, I am open, I am happy, I am free, I am open to experiencing new reality. Mate, I tell you what, I should have been a fucking jingle creator. Your ego is going to be like, oh my God, no. Because those 2,000 bits of information, it knows you to be a certain way. And so if it knows you to be a certain way, it's predictable outcome, right? If you're like this will happen. If you're like that will happen. If you're the fucking new you, it won't do anything. It won't know what you're going to do. It won't know what you are going to do. It can't predict the outcome. Because it can't predict the outcome, it's like, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, let's start fucking sabotaging. Let's make her mopey. Let's make her this. Let's make her that. Let's make her think about past stuff. Let's make her whatever. Anything it can do to pull you back. So again, what you want to do is sit down with your ego. Fucking give it a minute. Consciously, actively, openly sit down with your ego and and say, okay, matey, let's go through this process. Let's go through this exercise, this ego clearing exercise. Now that I've heard you, now that I hear your fears and understand that that's okay, let me go back into that renewed me, that new me, and let me feel back into that. And maybe when you're tuning into that, you feel this soft, feminine, beautiful nature. You feel this powerhouse of grace and of, whatever. Then once you start visualizing that and feeling that is so important, then you're getting more back in to who you are. That's the process, right? You're always going to be in contrast with your ego and your true self and your new self or your intuition. When you know you're in the energy of your ego or your old self, your limited self, you'll feel it. It feels harsh, or it feels cold, or it feels restrictive, or it feels whatever. And when you start tuning in and visualizing and feeling more of the real you, or more of the things that you want to do, then you're going to get familiar with that and start again acting from that place. Is it fucking easy? No, Lauren, it is not easy. Does it get easier? Yes, it gets easier. Will you always need to be in the practice of it? Fucking yes. I'm always in the practice of it. So you will constantly be failing forward, right? When you get in really to this work, you're constantly failing forward. And when you're failing forward and you're learning from it and you go back in and you tune back in, you remember yourself, it's a victory, right? So I hope that answers your question. Jenny Brady, Kat, any chance you would run a self-mastery top-up course? Asking for a friend, aka Cliff Brady. Hell yeah. If the gang wants to get back, because we do have 2 training courses, if the gang want to come back together and refresh yourselves, hell yeah, I will send out an email. Thank you, Mr. Cliff Brady, aka Jen Brady. I think that's a great idea. Let's look at, hang on, how do I go to, okay, tips on manifesting. Someone sent me this. Lily Biggs sent me tips on manifesting. So the tips on manifesting that I would give, right, the work that we give in our training and in my coaching, is that in order to manifest and be on the path of manifestation, stick to the path of manifestation, you gotta fucking work with your little buddy ego, right? When we are constantly manifesting and just visualizing and seeing everything and yada, 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 and we kind of like forget the ego, then we're in trouble. Because the ego is going to be super sneaky, super like, this bitch ain't gonna know I'm gonna surprise her and take her off her perch. She's not gonna know when, whatever. It's gonna try and sabotage you. So what will then happen is, because you are like manifesting and you're visualizing, and you're this, and you're like positive thinking, and you're whatever it may be, and it's not working, you are going to want to give up. You are going to think, well, this fucking shit doesn't work for me. And your ego is now winning. Your ego is like, I have won the race. Now she wants to give up. Now she doesn't believe in it. Now she's going to find manifesting too hard. Now she's going to think that she's the only person on the planet that can't fucking manifest and everyone else can, and she's broken. And so therefore you're already in your ego. So when you manifest, you got to bring your ego. Which is why I believe the work that we offer is very fucking good. It has a lot of integrity, that when you do manifest, you got to bring this guy with you, or girl, whatever you want to say. You got to bring your ego with you. So that's one tip. Second tip, when you are visualizing your ultimate life, your ultimate self, you want to leave conditions out of it. You just want to capture the essence of what it is that you want. So for example, when I was talking about that book and about tuning into the end result of that and seeing people just read it and then be in bed with their fucking coffee cup, and I envision it, a piece of toast there. And so I'm getting all the senses involved. and that person puts the book on her chest and she just says, fucking thank you. Thank you. You want to leave conditions out. The reason why you want to leave conditions out is because if I'm there going, oh, what's my book about? Let me write all the things that are in there. Then I'm actually limiting myself. I'm limiting myself as to what could be possible. So when you manifest, you want to capture the essence, the energetic essence, the overall vibe, the overall, sense, right? So that's tip number 2 with that, which then goes with when you are visualizing and you are creating a reality that doesn't exist, you want to evoke emotion. You want to evoke feeling. Like what happened then before when I was like, book, imagining, which then made me cry. You fucking want that. Maybe you don't have to cry every time, but like your heart is blown open because the thought of it, the sheer thought of it, of being yourself, of actualizing your potential, of creating something that is for the people, just lights you up. So when you manifest, you want to bring emotion into it. I choose emotive music. I purposely choose emotive music, emotive songs. And I do that for a reason, because I want to cry, I want to feel. And so then when you feel, you then have more desire to act, right? You have more desire to act. So tips on manifestation, you visualize without condition, you go to the essence, you fucking feel the emotion of it, and then you act from that emotive place. You take action from that emotive place. So yes, that is where I will, unless there's any other questions, I'm mindful that I have taken up nearly 40 minutes of your Sunday morning. Any questions? Nat. Great. So this is great. I love that we have created the live Q&A. Please continue to send me live questions. I think it's great. It gets me on a roll, gets me excited, and I love talking off the cuff. So I think it's awesome. Thank you everyone for joining me live. Insta lives don't save anymore. So this will go on my YouTube channel. So if you want to find this whole version again, head to my YouTube channel and it's under Sunday Morning Meds. Love you all, superstars. I hope you have a fabulous day and evening, wherever you are in the world. Remember, 2,000 bits of information. If you want that podcast, fucking ask me for it and I will share that podcast with you. As to upgrading your 2,000 bits of information and staying open. Sophie Dophie, my love heart, I did tell you I was focusing on gratitude and I changed the fucking topic. So that's why I don't put the topics out, because literally right before I tune in and fucking spirit wants me to chat about something different. Anyway, peeps, I love you all. Stay safe, stay well, stay open, and peace be with you.